Welcome, 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 folks, to Waves on the Shore with Evan and Jaron, the census greatest podcast of all time. Thanks for joining us today as we discuss all the latest in country music.
We're not biased, we just don't like bad music.
Calabunga. We are back. Yep, after several near-death experiences, we return.
That's right. We're here.
We exist still.
Ready to grace you with our presences.
Which is,
Presence
what more could you possibly want in life? I don't
right.
think you could want anything else. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We got a lot of albums coming out.
Part of that's because a lot of albums come out, but also we haven't recorded in like 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks.
So.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I died for a week, so that kind of threw stuff off, and then Jaron started dying. And then we found a little.
Yeah, mine wasn't as bad.
Your
yours,
death
though.
wasn't as bad as mine, but
I still went to work because I'm not a slacker. But you had a fever. I never had a fever. Yours was like 5 days. Mine was like 3. But it was like mild, cold, sore throat stuff.
that fun.
Which is
jazz.
like, I
Which
hate
should be gone now. I'm sorry, that should not exist in June.
I hate having that stuff in the summer. I had COVID 2 summers ago, right before I went to college, and bro, that sucked. In the middle of like 100-degree weather or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, it was not great. And I couldn't taste my pizza. Couldn't taste the pizza. I remember sitting in my room in the dark. My mom brought me pizza, and I remember taking a bite of the pizza. I swallowed it. I took a second bite, and then the second bite was when I realized I can't taste this.
That's so
like,
sad.
It's really depressing.
That's very sad.
My taste slowly came back over the course of like 2 months after that. Like I could drink like LaCroix or like seltzer water, and like it would just be like drinking. Like you couldn't tell. It was.
That's when
interesting.
That's when you get on that healthy grind. Like you got like 5 eggs for breakfast or something.
That's true. You
Drink
just
the
eat a
eggs.
bunch of stuff that you don't like. That's like super healthy. or
Super
something
healthy.
Like that. Yeah.
See, look, where you see an obstacle, I see an opportunity. That's the difference
right.
in mindset.
What's the one meme? It's like overcome, improvise, adapt, or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like Bear Grylls. He's pointing at the screen. What album do we want to talk about first? What are you most excited to talk about? Maybe that's what we should start with.
If we want to start with that, we are absolutely starting with the Moroney album.
Yeah, I figured. And I'm excited to talk about that one too. So
This album kills, man. Like, I was thinking, I've been thinking this, and I may have even come to the conclusion. I think for me, this passes Ernest. I think this is my favorite country album of the year now. I think this is my number one, dog. Like, it is so good from front to back. It is the perfect length. There is no bad song. Like, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what I was expecting. Like, I don't know. It's not that I had low expectations for this album. I thought it was going to be good, but I was still caught off guard by how good it was. Mostly just because there's literally not a miss. Like, even on the Ernest album, there's not misses, but there's songs I, maybe gotta be in a certain mood for. Here, every single song is just like, lay it on me. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
I'm all in at all times. I friggin' love it. So I think this might be my favorite album of the year.
I concur. And honestly, about if we're talking specifically country music albums, yeah, I probably agree. I think this is probably the best one.
When you say specifically country, is there a non-country album that you're currently holding higher?
I
Because
think
there is for me. I do have a non-country album I'm currently holding a little higher.
That's a good question. On the spot, personally, and I am fully aware that there's probably a lot of people that aren't going to agree with this, but I would be inclined to maybe say Ed Sheeran's newest album, just because I think this is some pretty high tier. This is Ed Sheeran, and I'll talk about his album a little bit more. But his new album it's like Ed Sheeran, but not for the casual Ed Sheeran people. It's like, this is like high class. This is like exquisite writing. Yeah, this is bougie Ed. This is not Shape of You Ed. This is not Shape of You Ed. No.
Ed is no longer in the shape of you. You're in love.
Hey, yo. But yeah, Lucky is really good.
Really good.
I specifically really enjoy Girl in the Mirror.
Yeah.
I know everybody loves Trader Joe. I am everybody.
Catchy as frick, though.
Okay, Trader Joe, every time I hear it, it sounds like to me, it sounds like Speak Now era Taylor Swift.
No, actually, now that you say this, I was thinking that. I was thinking this has some early Taylor shades in it.
It sounds like a song that could have been on Speak Now.
100%. Boy, you're gonna hate her.
It's really good. Yeah. It's really good. I really like. And Speak Now is my favorite Taylor album, and we're getting Taylor's version in this I think in July. So that's exciting. Or maybe it's this month. It's June now. June 1st is when we're recording this.
You know what's crazy? Wait a minute. Is it to the day? Hold on. Keep talking.
But yeah, outside of what else? I said Girl in the Mirror. Obviously Tennessee Orange is good, but that was a single. I like sad songs for sad people a lot. Just as a chill closer. I feel like Why Johnny? That's another one. Why Johnny is actually maybe. I think Trader Joe might be my favorite, but Why Johnny or Girl in the Mirror are probably tied for second. I really like the writing in Why Johnny. I love the whole June and Johnny Cash stuff, and I also had a massive Johnny Cash era, so I think that's a big reason why I like that song. In my junior year of high school, I was only listening to Johnny Cash.
Exclusively.
I have pretty much, actually. I have a ton of CDs. Like, if I was in the car, just put one of them in, and I would listen to Johnny Cash. I should listen to Johnny Cash again. Feel like I haven't listened to Johnny Cash in a while.
Get back in that bag. We love that. I'd say if I had to pick some favorites, I'm definitely Why Johnny. Great song. The thing is, with this one, I don't actually know if it's anything it's not anything objectively crazy relative to the other ones. I still think it's a ridiculously good song, but I love Georgia Girl. I love the way she just this guy's traveling around and stuff, and he's dated all sorts of girls from all sorts of places, and so she just refers to the girls as the states they're from. It almost feels like Hunger Games, where they just call each other the district they're from.
Sure.
It's like Louisiana let you in, Bama let you come. I don't know. I like it a lot.
So, wait, you've seen Hunger Games? Hold on.
I've seen the first Hunger Games.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I've only seen the first one and
Same.
then part 2 of the very last one. I've read the books though.
That.
I've read the books, so there's.
I've only read and seen the first one because we did it for school.
You did it for school. Wow.
In grade 8, yeah. Yeah, Georgia Girl, Why Johnny. Ooh. I am almost tempted to go title track, Title track is such a groove, man. It is so Brooks and Dunn. It is so rocky.
Lucky is good. Lucky's good.
Tonight you're lucky, I'm drinking. Man, y'all are getting all these incredible covers for free this episode, man. I've dropped 3 Megan Moroney covers on y'all. This should be.
I really like your Megan Moroney voice. That the one I feel like it's different than all the other times where you sang songs. I feel like this is a different iteration of
because it's a spot on Megan Moroney impersonation.
Right.
I am Megan Moroney. Could you not tell by my blonde hair?
You're not nearly hot enough. Just as a blanket, you're hot in a guy sense. No homo. I'm not gay. But but because I'm straight, I might. Where are actually I'm not gonna go there. But you're not hot enough.
Yeah. But yeah, Megan Moroney album, friggin' kicks butt. My new favorite country album of the year. And I don't know.
It's just good. It's I would say it's great. It's excellent.
Just great. There is no weak link. There none of the songs have poor writing or production anywhere. Every song is just good in every way. It's very impressive. A very good album.
Excellent out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
I'd legitimately give this thing a 9, pushing 9.5 out of 10. I don't know what could possibly make it better. I really don't. It's that good. So Parker McCollum also happened to drop an album quite recently. And I've given it a couple listens. And look, if you know me, you know I'm a Parker McCollum fan. I found him with Probably Wrong. I think it was 2018 or 2019 when I found him. I've been jamming with him. I loved Gold Chain Cowboy in 2021. And I loved the 2 singles before this album, Stoned and Handle on You. So I was crazy. And Tales I Lose was also really good. That was out before.
Yeah.
So I was crazy excited for this album. And here's the thing. It's not bad. There's just not much that stood out to me. I've listened to this album 2.5, maybe 3 times. 2 times through. 1, and then probably once total combined of just jumping around. But I feel I don't know, other than the singles, and I think the opener Hurricane's awesome, and I think that's a really funny, clever thing of someday she's gonna have her name on a hurricane the way she comes in and wrecks your world. I think that one really stuck with me.
Yeah.
But outside of Hurricane and the pre-releases, I don't know, it didn't stick. I don't know, I feel I couldn't I don't know, maybe I wasn't listening intentionally enough, but looking back in hindsight, nothing really sticks out. I can't really pick out any melodies or any specific moments. Maybe I'm just deaf now. But I don't know. It didn't hit me the same way Gold Chain Cowboy did when it first dropped.
It seems like you are in a similar camp to a lot of other people online. And I'm not opposite, but my opinion differs in the sense that
it's wrong.
And I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority here, but I think that this is Parker's best album.
Really?
Yeah. Not that I could maybe see some people saying that Limestone Kid is maybe better, or maybe Probably Wrong. I'm not a Gold Chain Cowboy advocate generally. I like Why Indiana, and I can't name another song off of that.
Why Indiana? Rest of my life, brother.
And even though that song Why Indiana, even though Why Indiana is literally dissing the state that I'm from, because he's like, why'd you have to dump me in Indiana?
Because there ain't nothing to do here.
Yeah, he's literally dissing my state, but it's a good song, so I like it. I don't really like that album a whole lot, but I don't think this album is perfect by any means. But I like you mentioned it, but I like Hurricane. I like Things I Never Told You a lot, where it's kind of this confession of things that Parker has never told this person that he's talking to. I really like Burn It Down, specifically from a production standpoint. I really like the vibe it gives off. The whatever they put his voice through at the very beginning of that song, I think it's cool. It's kind of rocky. Handle on You is good. That was a single.
Handle on You is so good, man. That's such a
I like Speed. I enjoy that one a lot. Tales I Lose is good. I Ain't Going Nowhere is maybe my favorite song off of the album.
Now that you're mentioning that, I do recall enjoying that one.
Yeah, I really like.
I can't remember exactly why. I'd have to give another listen, but I remember listening and being like, this this hits.
I like how all the melodies flow in that song, and I really like the chorus, and which is interesting to me because Grady in his newest video, talks about how he like specifically does not like "I Ain't Going Nowhere" and that he doesn't like the chorus. So I don't really know. Just maybe how Parker executes that. It's maybe like this take it or leave it situation. I don't know. Some people. I feel like there's maybe at least one more. I think I remember liking Wheel. It's been at least a few days since I listened to this album, but I've listened to this album a fair amount. I threw it on a lot while I was just like doing chores or whatever, mowing the lawn. So it's like I've just passively absorbed this album. I think it's solid.
Like maybe it'll grow on me.
I think Megan's is a better album, but this is Parker's best cohesive thing.
That's crazy because Probably Wrong still exists.
And maybe I shouldn't do here, right? Maybe
that.
let me take a different take. Not that it's his
Let
best.
me change
maybe
my
it's
opinion.
maybe it's my well, let me reword it. I don't think maybe it's not his best. I think maybe Limestone Kid is still his best because I think that's a very interesting era of Parker and maybe it's still his best era. I think that this is my favorite era of Parker McCollum. Maybe it's not his best.
That's fair. That's fair.
I like the productions and styles, and I like the vibe of a lot of the pre-releases. Even just from a cover art standpoint, the Handle on You cover art was pretty. I loved it. I loved the vintage vibe.
It should have been the album cover.
It should have been the album cover,
I
but
don't know what's going on with
also
this one. It's all good though. It's okay.
What's going on? That cracks me up. I also don't hate this album cover, but I don't love it either.
That's where I'm at. I'm just indifferent. Like,
I like the color of the blue. I will say that. It's a nice shade of blue.
It's just like, I think everything needed to be a little faded. It's just too saturated. Like, it kind of looks like something like a grade 8 girl would post back in like 2017.
Like when a weird like filtered
saturation
Instagram picture
to their sunset pictures
from like 2014.
Yeah, that's the vibe it's giving off, which isn't particularly a good thing.
It's not the best, but it's not the worst. There's worse. Like the next album that we're going to talk about.
Oh my gosh, no, this. All right. Sick transition. Bailey Zimmer might have dropped the worst album cover of all time. This album cover.
No, okay, hold on. Can I tell you my favorite thing?
Bad.
Like, my favorite thing about it being bad. Like, it's not a good thing. It's just my favorite thing to make fun of. My favorite thing about... he looks like he's getting ready for school. First day. It's his first day of 8th grade.
He's got his hands here.
And he's got his hands on his backpack.
Teacher, what class am I? Oh no, I never realized that.
I think about it every time I look at it. Every time.
There's so much I cannot get over with this album. Like,
it's
first
not
of all,
good.
Just the the grungy, whatever's
the weird black
going on with
crap behind the words is not
exactly
not
the stuff behind the words, the black and white, the tear.
Why did they choose
the tear? What's going on with the tears?
Why did they? I actually didn't really notice the tears until.
That's one of my least favorite things about it. Like, it's so bad.
Why?
Who let this fly?
Just who chose the picture? Who chose the picture?
It's such an uncool picture. Like, everything about this album cover, like it looks like it looks like a project you've done to make fun of like grunge music.
Yeah, it's not.
It's so
not
bad.
Good. It's not.
However,
good.
album's
the album's
not awful.
Yeah, the album
not nearly as bad as the cover.
My first impression from this album was, oh shoot, this is actually like a competent listen. Like this is not absolute, like, not that I was expecting garbage. I just wasn't expecting, like, I was surprised a few times actually. Like I wasn't expecting.
I was expecting.
I was surprised that I was surprised. Is that, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I was expecting very cookie cutter Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know I've been a pretty big advocate of Bailey with like
You're
Fall
right.
in Love, Rockin' a Hard Place. Yeah.
Let's do this. Try to guess what my favorite track is on the album, and I'll try to guess yours. This could be fun. Like, what do you think is? What is the one that surprised me the most? That I was.
Why
like,
do
oh,
I
shoot.
feel like we have the same one? But then
We probably do.
if I say it, then you know what my guess is. You
Well,
know
maybe
what
you
my
shouldn't-
favorite is. So
maybe you
I'm
shouldn't have said
I'm
that.
not gonna guess my actual favorite. But I feel like maybe I don't know.
But then I'm gonna know what it is.
What?
If you don't guess it, then I feel like I'm still gonna know what it is.
I think you know my favorite.
Okay,
I'm gonna
we'll see.
like ignoring like Fall in Love and Rock because they've been out forever.
I mean, I enjoy those songs, but I was never like, oh, I love these. I have actually. I won't say
I'm gonna
anything.
say you don't want that smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, that was it.
Ooh, bingo.
Was that not yours?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
dude, that song
I-
kills.
No, the first time I heard that, well, I remember
seeing
the
that
title
title.
of that.
Yep. And I was like, oh no, it's good. You
I
know
was
what it's
like,
gonna be?
This is gonna be cringe. It was gonna be utterly cringe.
It's gonna
is
be
what I
like his
thought.
version of "Ain't That Some." Like it's gonna be that.
Oh yeah.
You don't want this smoke. I be out
Ain't
here
there
in the
some
4
backbone hunters in the man?
I be making this money rain on them 4 wheels, brother.
Yeah. No, you don't want that smoke. Is
So good.
like, kind of like a massive banger. Like, I'm gonna put this in a perspective.
It's like what Bailey's capable
You don't want-
of.
You don't want that smoke, and then like, there's some really good songs here, and then the rest of them are kind of down here. But like, you don't want that smoke is like here, and like
It's
low
like-
key, you don't want that smoke is probably like a top 3 song, like new song that I've heard this year for me.
It's good.
I really like it.
I really loved Fall in Love and Rockin' a Hard Place, both of those, which became both really big hits. But I thought those are great, like really
I enjoyed
cool
them.
bangers, and I thought it introduced Bailey really well. Then I thought it went kind of stale. I was like, yeah.
What do
And
you?
then I heard the album.
I mean, I like.
but you don't
What
want
do you?
that
What do you
smoke.
think of? Sorry, go ahead.
You don't want that smoke is like. I've heard how good banger Bailey can be, even if
Oh,
he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
always hit the mark he can. Banger Bailey can be crazy good with Fall in Love and Rockin' Hard Place. Now I know Bailey also can pull out Ballad Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Ballad Bailey and Banger Bailey. And this, You Don't Want That Smoke, is so... It's just such a cool,
really good.
like... You don't... Trust me, brother. You don't want that smoke. You don't want, like... You don't want to
Yeah.
go out with her. You don't
It's
want to
really
follow
good,
her out
man.
of the bar. It's so cool.
What are your thoughts on Fixin' to Break? Because Fixin' to Break, when I heard that, I like that more than Fall in Love. I like that more than Rockin' a Hard Place. When that was a pre-release off of this album, and I liked it. It was my favorite Bailey song until You Don't Want That Smoke. Like, actually.
I think... It's not bad. Fix a Break. I feel like it's one of those songs that is good.
Maybe here. Maybe go stub your toe and then put it on. It'll put you in the right mindset. You're in pain, and you're laying there on the floor.
Fixing a break. I don't know. I feel
I
like
like it.
it definitely it had its moments, but I remember being a little underwhelmed. It just never stuck with me that much personally.
I've been banging to it ever since it came out.
The one song I do really well. Here's the thing. I like this song, but I just think the production, it's not bad. I should say religiously. The title track, the opener, technically the title track, because he had to go religiously. The the album.
It's
Shut up.
yes, also we
Shut
didn't. Yeah, we forgot to like absolutely flame the title.
Embarrassing title.
I do not like this trend
of making sure people know it's an
Well,
album. Just in case I thought it was a single.
Chase Rice did it before his spectacular album. Oh, hold on. Did that come out this year?
Yeah.
That's a good album.
It's a really good album.
Hold on. That actually might be the best country album of this year so far.
You got sidetracked real fast.
I'm sorry. Well, I kind of forgot that it came out, and now I'm like, oh, hold on, that might be better than Megan's album. But anyway, sorry. He had an album called The Album, and then there's the whole Midland album, and then there's and then don't even get me started on Ernest having 3 different titles for his album, Kill Me Now. And then it's like, what are we doing? Stop.
Just name it religiously. That's a dope album title. Just do it religiously.
Yeah, that's decent. That's pretty solid. That's a solid album title.
The song itself, the album. Religiously, is like, it's one of these songs where I think it's a really good song. I think the melody is really good. I think the writing, like, I don't know, it's just one of these very straightforward songs that hits very hard. But it feels like it's just a piano ballad. Like, it's not like ruined with a certain element. It's just everything is so crisp. And so, like, perfect, and so, I don't know, it feels a little bit like it's lost its emotion in that way, because it feels so crispy and so, like, to the note, to the beat, everything's so bright and in your face, and it's just like, just tone it down. If that was a mellow song, it would have friggin' killed. And so it's one of those where it's like, I like the song, but when I'm listening to it, I'm a little bummed because I know it could have been better with just some very minor tweaks. But
yeah, I would agree. I think Religiously it's a pretty solid song. I enjoy it, but
Closer, by the way. Sorry, I cut
Is This Really Over is good. Yeah, no,
banger.
Let's just talk about that.
I love that song.
Is This Really Over? You Don't Want That Smoke and Fixin' to Break are my top 3 off of this album.
It feels weird because I feel like Fallen.
And also, Bailey Zimmerman should never cover a Johnny Cash song ever again.
I'm saying, You Don't Want That Smoke.
He thought he was doing something with his cover of God's Gonna Cut You Down, but he what was he cooking?
Chief, he was not cooking.
What is he
Notice
cooking?
how we didn't talk about that part. But yeah. I'd say You Don't Want That Smoke, Fall in Love, and I'm gonna chuck in Is This Really Over as well.
Okay. Yeah, it's a. I would
check it out. Like, I would not advise you.
It might surprise you.
Yeah. Definitely give it a go.
It almost feels similar to me, although I think it's kind of similar in vibe, or at least in terms of a solid debut. I think Morgan Wallen has a solid debut album.
It's actually a good comparison.
maybe not his best, but also I think Morgan's debut album is maybe a little bit better than this one.
Would agree.
Just a little bit, maybe. Not like. I think if you just cut a few songs.
Look,
like
Bailey Zimmerman did not make Talkin' Tennessee.
I do really like, and I also like Little Rain, and
Redneck
Morgan
Love
also.
Song.
Yeah.
I still love that song.
Redneck. I mean, I enjoy Redneck Love Song, but it's not.
People are on the fence.
Evan, you've got your weird affinity for like kind of like overly redneck, like like Korn, and then like
Bro,
Redneck Love Song.
You can't be dissing Korn. It's just not possible.
Here I am yet again dissing
it's
Korn on the
podcast.
Thing
you can do. Like,
oh, gosh. I've been yelling at kids all day. That's why I'm coughing. Are we doing this again?
It's just not a dissable song. Like, that could be the greatest song of all time.
I don't know what you want.
Honestly, like, all genre, everything considered, Korn might be my GOAT song.
Okay, well,
my
before
GOAT song
we,
is still
is there another Is there another big country album that we missed, or did we talked about 3? I'd give Religiously a pretty okay out of 10.
I'd give it a. This kind of surprised me out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a Bailey Zimmerman feels like a really annoying kid that I went to high school with out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a I agree out of 10.
Oh, I have a small little short story actually. It's not really a story, but my buddy Caleb texted me like a week and a half ago. I had posted on my Instagram story when I was first listening to this album, and I heard "You Don't Want That Smoke," and that's when I posted. I was like, "Oh shoot, this is a good song alert." And then my buddy Caleb texted me when he saw that, and he was like, "You like that Bailey Zimmerman guy?" And I was like, "I mean, he's all right." And he was like, "Yeah, my brother's like ex girl." He was like, "No, what he said? It wasn't my brother." He was like, "My buddy's like." My buddy's younger sister went to high school with him, and his locker was right next to hers or something.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I might be able to find it. He was like, yeah, she said he was like really annoyed. He was a brat, and I was like,
I mean, you can see it. You can see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but I'm also not gonna go around telling people that. I heard that people hate him and he's like a horrible person in high school. I'm not gonna do that. But, I mean...
At least he didn't peak in high school.
Maybe he did. Like, actually, maybe he did. Maybe we're getting... maybe we're getting the leftovers.
I have a story time if we want to do story time.
Go ahead. That's fine.
Else. I went to the Zach Bryan concert. There was only...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There's only one problem. Of all the places in Canada, this man chose to go to London, Ontario. For those of you who do not know, London is probably the worst city in the world. There is no redeeming qualities about London. There's nothing good. The people suck. The place sucks. The location sucks. It was rightfully named the least happy city in Canada. And that could not be more correct. I'd be miserable if I lived in London. And this concert only reminded me why I hate London so much.
So it's like, it's Canada's Detroit?
Yeah, but I'd rather go to... No, I'll get shot in Detroit. I'll take London, actually.
You almost said I'd rather go to Detroit.
I almost said it, and then I was like, I'll get shot. But, so here's one thing, okay? So, Zach Bryan obviously made the tickets nice and affordable for everyone, right? That was the big thing, like, make sure real fans get to see the shows. I was like, that's really cool. But it was pretty easy to see where he made back that profit. The merch was so expensive. It should have been borderline illegal. A t-shirt was $60. Convert that to American, that's still like a $50 t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of bonkers.
The Zach Bryan shirt that I have, put this in perspective. I bought this online. I think it was like $60 American. So it'd be like, yeah.
Dang, Zach's merch is expensive. I still got one though.
To be fair with the shirt, the shirt that I have, there's only like 500 of them or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
And
so in that case, I can see maybe Jack.
And I don't even wear it. It's with all my other like autographed, and it's in my bottom dresser drawer because I'd like to like get it framed or something.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, it was a really good concert. Kind of got the whole experience though. The one dude like a row in front of us was so drunk he just fell asleep. And then he threw up on the floor. And I was just happy I was behind him instead of in front of him.
Go off, King.
So that was something.
That's what I say to that.
The dude behind us was considerably high, but it was really funny because he was just like, you know, anytime a banger started, he'd like grab our shoulder and shake it. He's like, "We're getting in on this one, boys. Let's go, boys." He was the most like Nelk wannabe guy ever. It was so funny. There was like a couple, like a row ahead of us, And before the concert starts, he's just like, hey, yo, lady. He's a keeper. He brought you to Zach Bryan. You got to hold on to that, man. But he's like, I got Zach Bryan tickets. I didn't take my girlfriend. I brought the boys. And all the boys are like, yeah. It was so funny. Concert was good. Concert was great. Really cool setup. And then the end of the concert happened, and we were trying to leave. And we ran into a London civilian. And, you know, anytime you run into a London civilian, you can bet they're miserable because they live in London. I would be miserable too. So we are the top row of our section, okay?
Right.
The hallway to leave our section's at the bottom. No one is moving. Like, we are trying to get out. No one's moving. So we're like, this is dumb. Everyone in our row just hopped up into the section behind us to leave out there because it was way smaller and already empty. Now, by hopping up into the next section, I need to tell you the height of this, okay? Everyone knows an arena seat, okay? Right? Yeah, arena seat. Like, the wall was the height of the arena seat. So by climbing up the section, you're effectively stepping over a seat. Like, it's hardly a divide.
Okay.
Everyone in our row does it. Why? Because there's a massive cluster of people going nowhere trying to get out of our section. So everyone in our row does it. We do it, and suddenly this angry old attendant in the arena comes down and is like, blah, 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 starts getting mad at us. I try to remain as polite as possible, but bro's having none of it, and the worst part is you can see he's enjoying it. You can see he's very happy that he's making sure we have a sour end to our night to make sure we get the proper London, Ontario experience. You can't be happy in London. Nothing good can happen. And so anyways, it's me, my older brother, my younger brother, and my older brother's friend. The three of us had gone into the next section, right? Mm-hmm. And this guy comes down, starts losing his mind. Blah, 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 blah. First of all, holy frick, what is even wrong with what we did? Like, you know, you don't get mad when people climb over seats to get to their seat. That's effectively... The concert's over. The concert's over. So my little brother, anyways, like, whatever, okay, fine, we're sorry we made you so mad, even though the 10 people before us didn't seem to bother you. So my little brother goes to, like, join us, and the guy's like, no, you ain't climbing over that, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, he's with us. He's like, wait, you should have thought of that before. Shut up. Literally shut up. I hope you get Alzheimer's. Then, I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's okay.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay. I'll climb down to be with my younger brother. He's like, nah, 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 nah. Sounds like Squidward or something. He's like, no, you can't go down. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? I'm undoing my mistake to go be with my younger brother so he's not lost in a crowd leaving an arena. He's like, I'm going to call security. I'm like, what are you going to do? Kick me out? The show's over. Give me a lifetime ban from Budweiser Gardens. I never want to come back to your city again. I hate your city with every ounce of me. Every ounce. There is nothing good about London, okay? It's in the middle of nowhere. The people suck. The place sucks. There's nothing good. Their hockey team... No. Their hockey team sucks. They have no morals, okay?
No,
like,
London Knights... I just think it's funny that
the London Knights are the joke of the OHL. They're incredibly good. Why are they incredibly good? Because they have no morals, and they'll be like, oh, you got kicked out of the NHL because you were charged with a rape case? We'll take you. We'll take you. Of course you will, London. Like, you know, if anything, he's probably a pretty good person to London standards. Like, they were in the playoffs. They came to our city, lost the game because they're friggin' trash. So what did they do? They trashed our arena and, like, shattered our mirrors in the locker room and stuff before they left. It's like, friggin'... Oh my gosh, I hate London. I hate it. Like, this is the only good thing about London, all right? They have this restaurant called Tahini's. It's such a good fast food place. Other than Tahini's, like, I'm sorry. Nothing good has ever come from London, Ontario. Nothing good will ever come from London, Ontario. It is the least happy city in Canada. That was officially, like, they released a list of the happiest and least happy cities in all of Canada. London was the least happiest of them all. Like, 33% of people said they enjoyed living there or something like that. And they scored, like, bottom for economy and everything. Like, it's just Detroit without guns. That's all it is. Like, I hate, and that guy just, like, of course, you just have to make sure that they have a bad end to their night because you're from London and you have to spread your, like, London cancer to all of us. I hate London.
I thought it was funny that he threatens to call security. So it's like, okay, so you're going to make me leave the place that I'm trying to leave. It's like, are you brain dead? Yes, because you live in London, and anyone with a brain would leave. So what ended up happening? Like, were you able to go with your younger brother? Like, what?
No, we were just on the phone with him, and we were telling him where we were and how we were leaving. It's like, what are you doing? And it's just the fact that, like, what wrong did we do? Our whole road did it, and even if no one was supposed to do it, what harm was done?
Some people just are given power.
That's it. Like, you could tell he was enjoying the fact that he was just making life hard for all of us. If I could go back, I would just hop down with my younger brother and we would leave. And then if security comes and tackles me, so be it. Like, I don't care. Just evacuate me out of your dump hole of a city. I'd rather suck my own butt for 5 hours than sit in London. Oh my gosh.
You can say that again.
I'd rather suck my own... Dude, I hate London. And I spent so much time in London that weekend, too. Literally, our church, there was a youth conference in London. So I spent Friday...
Why was the youth conference in London?
That's a fantastic question. All right? It used to be in Kitchener. And then they were like, we're going to London! And I'm like, why would we do that? Like, I spent Friday in London. I spent Saturday in London. Came home. Then went back to London on Sunday for the concert. I am Londoned out for 2023. Holy crap. I had to get that out of my system.
It's okay.
Like, if anyone's coming to Canada, do not go to London. Just keep driving down the 402.
But the concert...
403, whichever side you're coming from.
Was the concert good?
Concert was good. Concert was good. He played Snow, which made me very happy.
Good.
He did, like, obviously, like, Something in the Orange and stuff. One song I wish he did was Oklahoma City. I was kind of waiting for that. If you ever decide...
The problem is that the man has released, like, 50-some songs in the last...
I know, so it's tough.
In the last year alone, on top of the 2 albums that he had before that.
Yeah,
and that's not including the singles.
I just thought because Oklahoma City was a single that there was hope. There was no hope. Also, you know,
I mean, he definitely plays it, but
yeah,
still played it yours.
You know, one thing I've noticed: the Quiet Heavy Dreams era has just been completely erased and forgotten, like it never happened. Like, he never plays those songs. I've never heard anyone talk about that EP. Like,
I like it.
I do too. But I feel like people just act like it doesn't exist. I was like, no, this happened. Why don't we like this?
I have the Quiet Heavy Dreams t-shirt. I have proof. I don't know. I really like the Quiet Heavy Dreams EP, and now I want to look at it real quick, actually, now that you mention it.
That was my Canada rant, by the way, the one I texted you about.
November Air off of that.
So good.
EP,
and I still love Crooked Teeth.
Really good.
Yo, crooked teeth are floating in my
I think if,
fine.
Charles Wesley Godwin, I think, did a little cover of that. It's not like officially recorded anywhere. I think it's just on YouTube.
I wish Charles opened for Zach. Don't get me wrong, Trampled by Turtles, holy frick, they were good. But man, it would have been cool if Charles opened. But oh well. Jaron, I do have a question for you though.
Oh, hold on. You could ask me the question soon, but I really quickly want to talk about the Ed Sheeran album.
Oh, yes.
Just a little
I was going to ask you about the Ed Sheeran album.
I have been on a spiritual journey with Ed, and I have mixed feelings. I think this is, like, just from maybe a songwriting perspective, I think this is quite possibly, maybe not It's hard to say. I think some of the best songwriting he's ever done is on his first album. I believe that's Plus. Or is that right? Am I? And then, yeah, it is Plus. And then I mean, Subtract is up there. This is just a really well written album, and for some perspective, Ed had made a statement. He was like, when he announced that this album was happening, he was like, yeah, so originally my next album was gonna be like completely different, but I was hella depressed. And he was like, the last like 3 years have been horrible, and this is the result of that. And so this is the album that we got is a much more subdued and the most acoustic and I think sonically focused Ed Sheeran album we've ever done, which is not necessarily a bad or good thing, because I like when he goes and does a bunch of different things. Like, I really like Divide as an album, actually. I love when he dips into like Scottish folk with like Galway Girl and Nancy Mulligan, but I also love when he does his sad boy piano ballads with How Would You Feel and Supermarket Flowers, and then he's got his pop hits like Shape of You, and Castle on the Hill is a very, I don't know, it's a good song. It's just very, I don't know how to describe it.
Have you seen the video where it's like Castle on the Hill, but Ed Sheeran just keeps breaking his leg?
Yes, I've seen but
that ruined the song.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm also, let it be known that I'm not like the biggest Ed Sheeran fanboy, but I semi-regularly,
I'd
maybe
say
that's
more
not
than
the
the
best way to put
average
it.
peep.
Well, it's just I often, every now and then, I'll just hear somebody be like, I don't think Ed Sheeran makes good music, and I'll look at them, and I'll be like,
you haven't listened to it.
I'll be like, that's just a bad take. Like, I just don't. I think you have to be kind of not a person who likes good music to, like, I can
think
understand.
You just have to be uneducated. I feel like if you only heard the singles, yeah, you're entitled to say that. But like,
I can understand not enjoying, especially some of the more popular Ed Sheeran songs. But he has some amazing songs, in my opinion. He has songs that I've cried to. Like, he is one of my favorite lyricists. And so I guess I'll try to get back onto the album. But this album, in the past 3 years, his wife gave birth. He's a father. His wife was diagnosed with cancer, and his best friend died. All in the span of like 2 years, I think.
That's a crazy few years.
But I mean, it's just, and that happens to stuff like that happens to regular people all the time. But it doesn't always happen to like Justin Bieber or like some other big artist, you know. And I don't want to say it like this, but I'm glad that Ed took what happened to him and was like, I'm gonna make something. I'm just gonna take that and let it fuel my passion for music. And so this album is a much more somber Ed Sheeran. Now, I think that there's a couple of filler songs on this album, but for the most part, it's a massive vibe. One thing that I don't really get, and Ed Sheeran always does this, is he releases an album, and there's always a deluxe that comes out
right away
at the exact same time, and I'm just like, just release one album, man.
What is the point of that?
I think the point of it is maybe there's, like, maybe physically, there's like, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what the point of that is, honestly. But just call it Subtract. And because I almost prefer, like, in the regular album, The Hills of Aberfeldy is like an exquisite closer. But if you do the deluxe, it's not the last song. There's still 4 more bonus tracks.
Yeah.
And the bonus tracks are decent. I think the bonus tracks are actually kind of the weakest songs on the entire thing. So it's kind of like I almost prefer the normal album. But I'll wrap this up. If I'm going to choose a couple songs to recommend, Boat, the opener, is really good. Saltwater is really good. Eyes Closed is a fun song. It's the most popular one. It's the one that's doing fairly well, I think, on radio. Life Goes On is the 4th track. Okay, I guess the first 4 songs are kind of bangers. Life Goes On is really good. That's the song that has there's a second version of it with Luke Combs. And and it's really good. I think I kind of wish that the Luke Combs version was the one that was on the album, but it's not. End of Youth is really good. Curtains is fun. Spark is good, and then the Hills of Aberfeldy is so good. It has a little bit of violin in it, and I believe it. I don't know. I haven't listened to this album in 2 weeks, but the Hills of Aberfeldy was beautiful. It hits kind of those Scottish notes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a sucker for some good old Scottish notes. You know I love my bagpipe, and that's pure unadulterated Scotland flowing through your veins right there. So, I would say that this is a good album. It's better than his last one, but from if I'm really sad, this is the Ed Sheeran album that I'm probably gonna want to go to. But if I want to experience all of the emotions that have ever existed, I'm going to go listen to Divide, probably. Because Divide is just like
everywhere.
It's just all over the place, but it's really good. Evan, ask me what I'm listening to.
So, Jaron, what are you listening to?
I am listening to a really good EP.
No, you're not.
I am. I promise.
No, you're not.
I can.
No.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh,
I am. This is a really good EP, actually.
All right.
Have you heard of a man named Ian Flanagan?
Yes.
Where have I? Yeah. So, he was on The Voice. He had an album that came out, I think, towards the end of 2022. I'm not talking about that album. Before he was on The Voice, or maybe while he was on The Voice, he had an EP come out in 2019 called Give Me Color. This is a 5-track EP, and this is back when he wasn't the result of a label. Because his EP is amazing. It is... I almost don't want to call it country music. I want to call it, like... It feels reminiscent
it's labeled
of,
as
like...
Americana.
It's got notes of, like... Maybe? I don't know. It's got, like... Sometimes it gives me, like, Jason Mraz vibes. Sometimes it reminds me of James Taylor, like peak James Taylor, and like it's really good and it's really well written, and the production just breathes and like flows, and there's so much, and it's just really like Give Me Color feels like there's like swelling, and it's like it feels like the song itself it's breathing because it's climaxing and then it's like kind of calming down. It kind of like that. Inhale, exhale kind of stuff, and it's really good. I was really impressed with this, and I get disappointed or depressed because his album that he came out with is like it's like not like horrible. It's just
it looks like very corporate.
Yes, that's a good way to describe it. It just feels corporate. It's like, okay,
we need a country album. It's going to be 11 songs. You're going to sit on a dusty porch with a guitar, and we're going to use this font.
It's just not... It's not good. Like, it's not the worst thing ever. I've listened to some of the songs. I couldn't get all the way through it because I heard the EP, and I was like, I can't listen to this knowing that you can make better music.
Yeah,
like,
that's always tough, man.
And I think... I feel like there was somebody else who was in a similar situation. I could be wrong, though. It's almost similar to, like, I feel like Chase Rice made a really good album, right?
Yeah.
And I think that Chase Rice album is going to be similar to Randy Houser's Magnolia, in the sense that we're gonna have this really good album, and he's probably
Gonna go back.
He's probably just gonna revert. Sadly, I'd love Chase to prove us wrong, but as long as he's signed to his label, I don't know, because I don't think that album's doing. I don't think that album is gonna pump numbers up. And I think that EP. I mean, it's flipped, because he wasn't corporate before the EP. But anyway, Ian Flanagan's "Give Me Color" EP is really good, like really good. I love. It's almost, if you go to his page, look at what he's released. Go to singles and EPs.
Mm-hmm.
If you, in 2019, if you look at, he released 2 singles from his EP, and then he released the EP. All 3 of those things, the 2 singles and the EP, have very unique cover art, and the songs are just beautiful.
But you can
and
see
then
as
he was,
soon
and
as
then,
the voice happens.
and then he got on The Voice,
it's
and then
the
all of
classic portrait picture.
It's just portrait pictures with like poor graphic design, and like super edit, like his Under a Southern Sky acoustic single thing that he did. It's such a bad, like, photoshopped, like, he's obviously not there. Like, he's in front of a green screen or something. Like, he's leaning up against a green wall. It's just disappointing, because his voice, if you... Here, hold on. I have to pull this up. Okay, so, it was at the very beginning of the year. Ian Flanagan posted this video on his Instagram, and I'll play it. It's an acoustic cover of "Hit Me Baby One More Time" by Britney Spears. I don't know how well that'll come in for you, but this song, his version of it is like amazing. It's not coming through for you. I'm hoping, I think it'll come through for listeners, but it's like his voice, it's this very slow version, and it's like really heartfelt. He's like, it's hard to describe, maybe I'll just send it to you, but like, it is like incredible, and I want him to cover it, and just do an acoustic live version. Like, don't do anything fancy, just, it's amazing.
That's fun.
But, yeah, it's like really good. What are you listening to?
That's crazy, you asked.
Yeah.
Because I definitely wasn't accidentally muted when I ran through the first time. I am listening to Georgia Got Colder, an album by a guy named Jonah Kagan. Do you know who Jonah Kagan is?
I do.
Oh, that's crazy, man. It's almost like we already went over this. But
yeah, Common Evanel.
It's a really cool, short, 7-song, 19-minute acoustic pop folk album. The opener, Hill That I'll Die On, is really dope. The second song, Graveyard Shift, I still haven't figured out exactly what it means. I think he's saying he would die for this girl, because he's saying, I'd even take the graveyard shift. It's a cool one. Georgia and Broken are the 2 best performing songs from the album so far, and I see why. The closer, Chemicals, is really cool. However, my favorite song is the 4th song, Barcelona, which is maybe the poppiest one. And it is just Jonah gets dumped by a girl, and then she moves to Spain. And so he's just sitting back in Georgia, and he's like kind of trashing Spain a little bit. He's like, I'm jealous of Barcelona because it's getting to know ya while I'm back home alone. It's really cool.
You know,
it's the only thing
Ed
I've listened
Sheeran
to
has
from
a
this
song
guy.
called Barcelona.
Oh my gosh, maybe this is Ed Sheeran. Are they the same person? So that's one of them. Can I quickly ring off a few more?
Just do some things, bro. Do stuff.
So I found this guy named Jimmy Clifton on Instagram Reels. He is just a Christian acoustic folk guy. And I'm going to be honest, I've listened through all of his albums. He has 3. Kind of like... He has really good songs. He has songs I'm like, I don't know about that one. However, and he has a new album coming out in June. He released a 3-song EP in May called Save Your Tears. I found him through the song Forest, which was recommended to me through Apple Radio because Apple's awesome. And it's a really cool EP. Very pretty. What?
I said no one ever.
Shut up. But the third song, Forest, is like, dude, it's so atmospheric. It's so trippy. I would really encourage you to check this one out. Like, it's its own vibe.
His name was
Jimmy
Clifton?
Clifton, yeah.
Jimmy Clifton.
The song is Forest, and it is just... Oh, the layers on his voice, the harmonies, it's so creepy and cool and everything. And it's a metaphor about, like, the devil trying to tempt you into the forest, and it's just... The whole thing's, like, weird, and it's so cool. Told y'all I had a lot cooking. This Is What Blank Feels Like by a guy named Jake. He blew up on TikTok. And I tried learning his one song, Golden Hour, on piano, and it's really pretty. And then I listened to the whole song, and I was like, wait, this song's actually really good. And then I checked out his album, which is very poppy. Like, this is not something I recommend to the people who do not like venturing outside of country. However, the album itself, it's pretty friggin' cool. It's like a collection of, like, 4 EPs, so it's like, this is...
I've actually been meaning to listen to this album, because I've heard Golden Hour. Is it Golden or Golden Hour?
Golden Hour.
I've heard Golden Hour, but it's hard not to because it's a lot of it. It was getting used a lot on like TikTok. And Reels and
it was
like
a huge song. But yeah, I checked out his album. I was like, wow, that's actually a really good album. Holy frick! Why am I listening to so much stuff? This is like against the rules. To Learn More is an album by...
It's okay. I've brought many things before.
Yeah. I'm just rifling through. It's been like 3 weeks, man. To Learn More by an artist named Leith Ross. Friggin' dope album. It's like very gentle indie folk, indie acoustic with a little bit of pop tinge. It's very cool. It's very pretty. Her the voice is so soft. The layers are so friggin' dope. Canadian as well. I should point out. Shockingly from Winnipeg. I didn't know you could be talented in Winnipeg. I didn't know that was
I
a
just
thing.
thought of something. This is like completely on a different topic. Did you realize that Justin Moore released an album?
My brother told me because he likes Justin Moore.
Because I mean, I've been enjoying like recent Justin Moore things, but like I just literally knew nothing about it, and
he loves his 8-song albums,
I love him for that. I honestly,
way better album cover.
Give me 8. Yes, it's better than Straight Outta the Country was actually a decent album, but it was just
the cover was shocking.
Not a great cover on that one. Sorry to interrupt you. I just had that thought.
No, you're good. Lastly, Changes EP by a dude named Hade. Really pretty, simple piano ballads. Cool EP. That is what I've been listening to.
Oh, here, I have one more. It's just one song.
No, you're not allowed to bring more things to
I'll kill you. Spotify auto-played... I don't remember what I was listening to, but Spotify auto-played a song called Monica by the Tootin Brothers.
The Tootin Brothers, I know that.
Yeah, and I was aware of their existence, but I never really listened to anything they did, and Spotify just auto-played their song called Monica, and bro, this is like, I was kind of blown away when I heard it. It's off of their 2020 album just called Country Music.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really good. I would specifically recommend that song because I don't know another song by them, but that one song called Monica is like really good. Like, it just sounds beautiful, and the lyrics are really nice too. But if you're done, and I'm done, if you're done, we can move on to our final segment.
Who the frick is that guy?
Who the frick is that guy?
Who the frick is that guy?
Yeah,
Jaron's got it this week. Hopefully it doesn't suck, but no guarantees, because it's Jaron. Play along at home if you're new. Jaron has 3 clues that he will give us. After each clue, I have a guess to see if I can guess who the frick He is talking about.
The Miami Heat lost. Let's go.
Don't nobody care.
Denver won 104-93. Shut up, bro. You went on you've gone on 2 massive rants about hockey already this episode. Don't even.
Was the hockey rant this episode? I think it was before we started recording.
No, but I thought you. Oh well, I've experienced at least 2 hockey rants so far today. I don't want to hear it. Anyway.
Oh wait, actually.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get started.
Wait, did I?
Bruh.
No, I did show it. Never mind. Keep going. I was gonna show my new Oilers jersey again, but.
You already showed it off,
yeah,
loser.
I know.
Just keep it open.
Okay, shut up, Jaron. What's the first freaking clue, okay, man? I've had enough. I'm just done, okay?
All right. All right. This artist released their debut album in 2011 when they were only 19 years old.
Ooh. That's young.
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah.
So they're 31 now, if my math is correct.
I think it depends on when their birthday is, but yeah,
Okay,
roughly around
that age.
Yeah.
Who started young like that?
Some of these questions are vague because I have learned my lessons. Some of my questions are like not vague enough, and then you're like, yeah, I've read this on Wikipedia before.
Well, I actually don't really know who to guess.
You could, I don't know. Toss someone out that you know kind of started, or that you think started around early
Like,
2010.
Casey Musgraves felt young, but I know she was older than that, and I know Same Trailer, Different Park was 2014, so it's not her. Like, debut album, like, full album, not just an EP.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that this is a bit more. I'll say this. I think that their first album is not. It's like probably their least popular album. Like it's.
This
like,
might be
it was
really dumb because I forget when Maren Morris started. I don't think she had an album that old though. But you're gonna press me for an answer here because I've been thinking for a minute.
Just say someone.
Maren Morris, but I'm pretty sure she started later.
'Twas incorrect, but that's a decent guess, I think.
I tried. She's around that age.
She's around that age.
How old is Maren Morris?
I don't know. Around late 20s, I think.
How did that
20. I'm
autocorrect
gonna guess 28.
33. So I was in the ballpark.
I lied.
You know, I was in the kitchen. All right. The pots were coming out of the cupboard.
All right. Second clue. This artist studied at Western Kentucky University.
That means nothing.
That's good.
Like, does that mean they're from Kentucky? Like, they don't have to be from Kentucky to study.
I don't know.
Kentucky.
What do you think? You
Who
choose
the heck
what
do
to
I
do.
know from Kentucky? Like Tyler Childers?
You choose to do with this information what you want to do with it.
Oh, wait a minute. Childers have bottles and Bibles. That was around that time. Tyler Childers.
I hate you.
Yeah!
That was good. You barely got that. You were like, oh, hold on.
He's the only person from Kentucky I know. But then I was like, wait a minute. He had that
There's-
album, Bottles and Bibles,
there's a
which goes
decent-
back a bit.
There's a decent amount of other people from Kentucky, but he's the big one.
He's
I
the
feel
one
like,
that
so.
comes to mind when I'm on the
Yeah.
spot and can't like reference anything. Like it's just Childers that comes to mind.
The other clue kind of sucked. I had to make this vague because, well, for one, there's actually not a ton that's like known about him.
He's a pretty under.
And the things that we do know about him, like everybody knows. So like I wanted to do him. I felt like I could still use him without, I don't know. So they're kind of vague. But the last
I didn't know he was that young when he put out Bottles and Bibles.
I mean, he's like 30.
Well, he's
I think
like
right
30
now.
or 31 now.
Oh wait, it's 2023. So yeah, he's actually like 32. Yeah, this artist has released 4 EPs and 5 albums. Was the last, because when you think about it, he's released 5 albums.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy to think, but he has.
Well, and like
He's got Bottles and Bibles, Purgatory, Country Squire, Can't Take My Hounds to Heaven, and Long Violent History.
yeah, Long Violent History was an interesting one. And
I remember being so bummed. When that album dropped and I found out it was all fiddle music except for one song. Not that it's
Yeah.
bad, but it's like I wanted a Childers.
It's like,
album.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Dude,
and then
that first
I'm not gonna
song.
lie, but personally, I think "Can I Take My Hounds to Heaven" is not a good album.
I'm with you. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
since
I think a
Childers
lot
has
of people
dropped
are.
something, man.
Yeah, it's not Heat. He did not cook. For the like, I don't. There's not a song
Bro
on that
forgot
album
to
that
turn
I'm.
the stove on. Cold soup.
The Mackie cold soup, cold mac and cheese. It's not
The noodles are still
the
hard.
he tried to cook a grilled cheese, but without the grill. You know what I'm saying? So it was just the cheese.
It would. No, I'm not even gonna correct you. Well, hasn't this been an episode? Thank you for joining us on the latest episode of the Waves on the Shore podcast. If you enjoyed, sure to let us know. Follow us on Instagram. Send us some messages about what you're thinking. That's a mighty fine face you're making, Jaron. My gosh. What a handsome young boy.
Is it kissable?
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Waves on the Shore. If you feel so inclined, be sure to leave a comment below. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, you can find both of us on Instagram at The Waves on the Shore, and our personal accounts, myself, Evan, at The Overshore, and Jaron at JepWOTS. JEPWOTS. I'm telling you, man. Bro's so whack. Anyways, I'll get out of your ear now. You do yourself a favor and have a fantastic rest of your day.